What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Fallujah, entitled The Flesh Prevails. This is released on Unique Leader Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of San Francisco, California, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very atmospheric, technical, and overall thinking man style sort of death metal. The first time I had gotten acquainted with this band was back in early 2011 when I first heard of their Leper Colony EP. Prior to them getting signed to a label, they had some really incredible demo and EP work. Very dark, very menacing, but also very heavy and thought-provoking. And then, of course, with all of that being done by them, it only led up to their debut full-length entitled The Harvest Wombs. I thought that was a sensational debut album. I thought it was beautifully made. I love the artwork. I love the lyrical content. I love the musicianship, the lyrics, the vocals. There was just so much going forward for that band. It only added to the already heavy amount of potential this band could possibly bring to the table here. And of course, with due time, they've begun to fine-hone their style as a live act. And then I got to see them in 2012 for the Slaughter Survivors tour with bands such as In Full Darkness and Igian. I thought Fallujah were really amazing live. Very hardworking, very skilled, and pretty accurate as far as translating from studio to live performances. I thought they were really good. And then in 2013, we got a little bit of a sneak preview of sorts with the Nomadic EP. It was only 3 tracks, but yet in the 3 tracks that were being used for that record, I thought they continued to showcase the sort of intelligence and progress that you would best know Fallujah for. I mean, it was three pretty lengthy tracks, but still, I thought it was very satisfying for an EP, and it only made me wonder what the next potential step was going to be for this band. And that potential next step is right here with The Flesh Prevails. I first listened to one of the lead singles from this release entitled Sapphire. I was getting right along into the track, but then I noticed something new. I noticed the inclusion of clean vocals, both male and female clean vocals. I thought it was a total unexpected surprise, but yet I thought Fallujah pulled it off with that track. And I was very interested to hear what kind of ideas and thoughts they were going to be bringing to their record, because I would consider this to be a band that definitely makes you think, in addition to just banging your head. It's just a thinking man sort of death metal band. Now here we are with The Flesh Prevails. It's 9 tracks, and it clocks in at around 41 minutes in length. And between this and their debut, I honestly would have to say that The Flesh Prevails is them at their most mature. I believe that they have matured not only as people, but as musicians. And I definitely think the maturity shows here quite nicely on The Flesh Prevails. Pretty much when it comes to the music, it is Fallujah business as usual. It starts off with the track Starlit Path. It's a very calming opening track. It sets the mood perfectly. You feel like you're about to enter a different sort of world when you listen to that track. And then moving on forward, you get right into the onslaught of instrumentation that Fallujah bring to the table here. Really great guitar playing as per usual. I'm loving the way that the riffs are. Very melodic, very powerful, and very smooth sounding. Then you get on to tracks like Carved from Stone, and then the 2-part track, The Night Reveals, The Flesh Prevails. I would think the 2 tracks would blend together, but I like how they use it as just one track and then somewhat of a reprise of sorts. There is a lot of really beautiful riffs to be heard on that track, including the main riff on the hook of the song. I think it's a very beautiful riff. But yeah, the technicality works out quite nicely here. It shows up when needed. It doesn't try to be overly dominant, but yet these guitar riffs are really amazing. The solos are very nice. I'm loving the instrumental track on here, Allure, with I believe Christian of Obscura does a solo on the track. I think he does a really, really sensational job here. But as far as the overall guitar playing, I think it's very, very smooth, very beautifully done, and very, very calming. It's a calming sort of guitar tone, and it definitely makes you think while banging your head. Uh, the bass guitar tone is very, very good too. I'm loving the way that it's utilized throughout this entire album. It doesn't it doesn't try to battle with the two guitars that are being done here, but yet when the bass is definitely heard, it's definitely heard and executed perfectly. It's very, very audible, very crystal clear in this production. And that's another thing to point out about Fallujah. I definitely don't blame them for wanting to be a band that has a very clean and crystal kind of production style. I know that clean production may be hit or miss for some people, but I think in the case of Fallujah, I think it works. And I would think that this definitely brings out the best in their overall qualities. But as far as the guitar and bass work goes, I think it's both very, very well executed, very well played, and very well heard. Just on my ears, just to be honest here. Moving on to the drums, I would say that this drummer is an absolute warrior. He's had a lot of trials and tribulations, but I think he really deserves to be in the position he is in right now. Great drum work here. Pretty much akin to the last record. Pretty much, you're going to get a lot of fast fills, a lot of fast double bass, nice blast beats here and there. It's a really good drum performance. I definitely think that more likely than anything that it definitely holds a back seat to the main guitar and bass work of the record. But when the drums are definitely utilized, I think it's really, really amazing. He gets the job done here very nicely. And I want to mention the atmosphere and the overall electronic elements that appear on this record. I want to say they included a vocalist by the name of Ronit. Now, I apologize if I say her name wrong, but she is a very, very well-known electronica artist, and you can instantly recognize her voice on tracks like Levitation and Alone With You. Going to Alone With You, that's where you definitely pick up an almost electronica sort of influence, and I think it's absolutely key and vital to this album's style and approach. I think it's really, really hypnotic, very, very calming, and I'm loving the way that her voice sounds. It's definitely a beautiful thing to hear. And then going to the track Sapphire, where you definitely hear her vocals being utilized again. I think it's really, really amazing, and I'm glad that they included her on this album. She definitely deserves to be heard a lot more. And now moving on to Alex's vocals, I definitely think this is a major, major step up from the previous record. I liked how Alex sounded on the first record, but when we get to the Flesh Prevails, he sounds a lot more clearer. You can understand him a lot better. I love the way his vocals are being utilized here. Very well worded, very guttural, very powerful. He commands your attention. That's the kind of vocal style that he brings. And with every single lyric he says and brings, it's really, really powerful. It shakes you down to your core. That's what I think he does with The Flesh Prevails. On tracks like Carved from Stone, Levitation, and then going back to Sapphire, I think he does some incredible work there. Even the closing track is a stunner too, Chemical Cave. I really, really love the way Chemical Cave is played out. It's a very beautiful song, and it definitely holds your attention all the way throughout. So, overall, if you are a fan of the first Fallujah record, and of course the EP that preceded this, I would definitely say The Flesh Prevails is something for you to be owning. I think this is a really, really beautiful album. I think this is an album that relies much more on the atmospheric elements of the music as opposed to things just being straight up heavy. I think this is a different sort of record. I want to say this could be even better than the Harvest Wombs, but I don't know. But anywho, I think The Flesh Prevails is a really, really beautiful record, and definitely something that could make you think. This is very, very intelligent, thought-provoking stuff. So, if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Starlit Path, Carved from Stone, Alone With You, Sapphire, and Chemical Cave. It's really, really awesome. You can pretty much pick this album anywhere, wherever retailers are selling it. You can also catch this band on the current Summer Slaughter 2014 tour, and they will also be involved in the Canadian version of the Summer Slaughter tour with Rings of Saturn and Archspire. So definitely check them out if they are playing live anywhere near you. And I believe they're going to be touring Europe with Dying Fetus and Goat Whore. So bigger and better opportunities are still to come for this band. So I'm going to show the album again. This is The Flesh Prevails by Fallujah. This is released on Unique Leader Records. Definitely check this out. And for the time being, I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. Very, very beautiful, atmospheric sort of death metal, and only a band like Fallujah could definitely make that possible. So support Fallujah. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for joining my channel, and until next time, I'm Miho, out.